All right, folks, welcome back to The Crafted Life, where we are built on purpose and shaped by faith. My name's Jake, and today we're going to cover a fun topic of mine, a passion of mine, that's tools. And what I want to cover, I want to kind of do the top 4 places to get tools that I found that work out really well for me and that I enjoy, and hopefully this will help you and have some fun along the way. So, places. Let's going to start with places I don't like to get tools typically. Um, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards. They're okay. They're not bad. There's nothing wrong with them per se. Um, my problem is I usually don't have anybody there that knows what they're talking about. If I have a question about a tool or which one's best or why would I get one over another or something like that, there's not a whole lot of help there and not a whole lot of information. And I don't know if that's just because today's society is like, well, you come in, you have it figured out, and they expect you to just know what you're going to purchase or what that is. So I'm not saying don't buy tools from Home Depot, Menards, or Lowe's, but that's probably not my first choice. Um, Here's the other question. A lot of people are all about Harbor Freight. Now, I grew up in a generation where Harbor Freight, everything was horrible. Tools weren't that great, and they all had a weird smell. Um, and you just bought it because you just needed something if you happen to have one local to you. But now it seems like there's Harbor Freight tool companies just everywhere today. And I've gone in them recently, and I do buy, especially like wire brushes, uh, things that I'm going to use up, that are consumables, that kind of thing. I don't mind that. They do pretty good. But I really haven't bought. I'm still kind of gun shy. The jury's still out as to whether I'm going to actually purchase tools from Harbor Freight. Their quality has increased over time. I think their customer service is pretty good, and most of the people know what they're talking about. So I do enjoy that quite a bit. Now, I'm going to start from like 4 to 1, and kind of work that way, if you will, up to our my number 1 pick on where to get tools. If you're going to get tools, whether it's hand tools or electric tools or old tools or whatever. Number 4 would actually be an independent place. You can kind of find those in your area. Up here in Minnesota, that is typically, it's called Acme Tools. I really enjoy that place. They're in, I believe they're in Wisconsin. I believe they're in Minnesota, and a couple other places. You can look them up. And I will put a link down below of all the websites for all of these places that we'll be talking about in the video. But I really like Acme Tools, and I like it for a lot of reasons. One, they have a huge selection. And number 2, they have really comparable prices to what you would find at a big box store. And number 3, their customer service is just awesome. They really know what they're talking about. Like, hey, why would I buy Makita over DeWalt, or why should I go with Milwaukee? Or they really have a good sense of what tool would I use when and for what, and what are the kind of the best brands and what to look for. So that's something I really enjoy, because I think that does create community where you're talking to someone and they're kind of informing you instead of you just having to assume that you know best and you can kind of figure it out. And sometimes I know what I want, and that's fine. I'll walk in and get it. But sometimes I do need some help in that. So I think a place like that. I also think sometimes even your local hardware store, like your Ace or True Value hardware store, can be a real advantage, because those tend to be family owned or owned by a very small company, and the employees there usually know what they're talking about when it comes to tools and that kind of stuff. It is a little bit more expensive than, let's say, a Lowe's or Home Depot, but I do think that you do get that kind of customer service that a lot of people are looking for that is really missing today, I feel like. So those would be my 2 recommendations: is a local, like, larger store, or even just a smaller store for you to go into and just kind of get that personal touch, which I really like. Number 3, that's going to be eBay. eBay is great. And if you're not familiar with eBay, I would encourage you to get on. If you've never used eBay before, it's really not that hard. And it's like, oh man, am I going to get something bad that I've ordered Am I going to get hung out to dry because I can't return this because it's not what I wanted, or something's wrong with it, or something like that? I don't worry about it. I've been selling on eBay for about 3 years now. My stuff and things that I buy, and doing some purchasing off of eBay. And eBay's changed quite a bit, and it's nice because you can look at different things and kind of say, okay, well, I'm looking for hand planes, for example, and I'm looking for a number 5 hand plane, and I want a number 5 hand plane that is kind of ready to go. It's not a restoration, I just want it ready to go. You'll have a lot of options, and that's the nice part. You have a lot of options on that site, and the prices are all very comparable because you're competing with other vendors who want to give you that same product. So you're going to get a good price, as well as it kind of depends on the condition you want. Do you want something that you want to restore? Do you want something that's already been restored? That kind of thing. So it's really handy that way. The other thing you can do, here's a pro tip, you can put in offers. So if you see something and you've been kind of tracking it, it's been on there for maybe a couple weeks or a month or whatnot, what you can do is actually, it usually says at the bottom, like accepting offers. You can actually kind of put an offer in, and let's say it was $50. You can put an offer in for $35. And they may respond and say, no, thank you. Or they may respond with a counter offer and say, well, we can go down to $40. And so there's some haggling back and forth that you can do on eBay to actually get that price lower than it's originally posted for, because people don't want that sitting in their shop all the time, and they want to get it sold. So that's one thing you can do on eBay. If you know what tool you're looking for and you're looking for something specific, and you can even get a better price on it than what it's even posted for originally. So that's a really good spot. You get to pay shipping, which is fine. It's usually not too expensive. They try and keep the shipping low. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it's free shipping, which is always nice. But that's just part of the deal with eBay, is you are going to pay for shipping. So that's number 3. Number 2. And you would think this would be number 1. It's not number 1. But Facebook Marketplace. Similar to eBay, it's going to be more local to you. And there's usually a lot of tools that come up, or different things you might be searching for. One thing you can do in Facebook Marketplace is actually do a search or save a search for particular things that you're looking for. So you can do it that way if you're looking for something specific in your area, as well as like how big of a window or how wide of a map do you want to go, or how narrow do you want to go. So you can search that way, and things will start coming up on Facebook as well, which is nice. Once you've kind of put in some of those key search terms, they'll kind of keep coming up for you too. So I've found some tools on Facebook Marketplace, but sometimes you got to be quick. If you miss out, other people are looking for them too, and you got to get on it and say, hey, is this available? Can I come get it? And be responsible in that regard. But Facebook Marketplace is a great place to find tools, whether that's power tools, hand tools, old equipment, anything you're really looking for. I think it's a good place to connect. And I'm going to do a whole video on Facebook Marketplace and kind of the way that even creates community that I've found. It's been really great. So the number 1 place I've found for hand tools is estate sales. Estate sales are awesome. Estate sales are great because you can find hidden treasures that have been in someone's basement for 40, 50, 60, 70 years, have rarely been touched. They may be dirty. They may have some rust on them. You need to clean some things up. But the amount of things that I've found at estate sales are just amazing, from axes to hand tools to yard tools to all kinds of things. Like, it's just amazing what you can get, and for like really great prices. Just things that aren't made anymore, from old hand planes to woodworking equipment to sockets and wrenches to all kinds of things. And the price that you're going to get them for is so much less than you would ever get anything retail. But a couple of pro tips. Look up and do some reconnaissance before you go. And a great site to do that on is estatesales.net is a good one, and Facebook Marketplace, and still Craigslist. Craigslist still exists, and people still use Craigslist. So I would check those two as well. But estatesales.net is a really good resource for you wherever you live. What you do is you go to estatesales.net, you type in your zip code, and then it will populate and give you pictures of typically their estate sale companies. that are putting on these estate sales, and they'll give you a series of pictures of what will be at that estate sale. Now, they're not going to show you everything, but they will show you most things, and you can get a good sense of what may be there at the estate sale. So that's a great place to go as a resource, no matter where you live. But again, I would also check Facebook Marketplace, just search estate sales. I do find things at garage sales occasionally, not all the time. But a garage sale would be a close second if it's a really good garage sale, or it might say a moving sale, or sometimes you search barn sale. So you can put in a couple different searches, and you can find other things that way. But estate sales are where it's at for sure. The amount of just quality stuff you can find and the price you can get it at is just amazing sometimes. And I've even used that to even buy stuff that I know someone's looking for something. A friend of mine's looking for something, and I'll call them up. Hey, do you want this? Are you looking for these? And just buy them for them, because usually the price is totally less than you would ever pay at a pawn shop or a antique store or anything like that. That's all marked up. That's what people do. They go to estate sales, they buy it, and they put it in an antique store, and then they charge you for having it in an antique store. So that would be my number one pick for where to find quality tools is estate sales. So what I want to know is, where would you go? Where do you want to find quality tools? What would you do? Or is there anything that you have questions about, or any of your recommendations where you found things in the past? Because again, on this channel, we are all about reality, durability, community, and legacy, and doing that all under the kingship of Christ. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please make sure you put those comments below, or where you found quality hand tools, or what maybe even you're looking for, and where you might even think to find it. I'll try and hopefully answer those below. But this is Jake saying we'll see you next time.